Hi everyone, I'm Barrie. I'm going to be leading you through some of my favorite feet and lower leg warm-ups. And this is a great little sequence to do to prepare for balancing poses, for a standing pose practice, or just really anytime. It's great work for your feet in general. So you'll need a block, a belt, and a firm blanket for what we're going to do. You can begin sitting in any comfortable posture and just lift one foot up. And we're going to start with massaging the sole of the foot. So just work your thumb into the sole of the foot. There's no wrong way to do this, just whatever feels good. Bring a little energy to the soles of the feet. And then we're going to do what's called toe weaving. So take your fingers and place them in between the toes. And if you can't get your 4 fingers in between all the toes at once, that's okay. You can do them 1 or 2 at a time. The idea is to just make some space between the toes, and this is a nice warm up for the toe joint. So once you get your fingers in there, just move them around a little bit and wake up the toes. Move them forward and back and around in little circles. Good. All right, and then change feet. Did you know that each foot has 26 bones and over 100 muscles, ligaments, and tendons? So they are, the feet are quite spectacular pieces of architecture, and they are really worth attending to in yoga and in life. So massaging into the sole of the foot and then weaving your fingers in between the toes, waking up the toe joints. All right. So the next series of poses we're going to do are based in Vadrasana, Thunderbolt Pose. So with your knees and your feet together, take your belt. And you're not going to loop your belt for this, but you're going to wrap it around your ankles, like you would an ace bandage or something. So curl your toes under and just wrap your belt around. And make a tight wrap around your ankles. You can tuck the end in. And we're going to sit back in Vadrasana with the toes turned under. And if this is too much for your knees, you can always place that blanket under your hips. Okay? So curling the toes under, sit back on your heels. And if this gets too intense, you can modify it by just not putting all your weight onto your feet and even using your hands to the floor to make it a little bit less intense. So this is great work, again, for the sole of the foot, as well as for the ankle. So the belt around the ankle is counteracting a tendency many of us has for the feet to sickle, which means the outer edges of the feet and outer ankles overstretch, and this tends to weaken the inner ankles and the muscles on the inner line of the foot. So this is really good work for balancing the feet and getting some mobility in the toes. Okay, and then remove your belt. And now stretch your toes back, and you can use that blanket under your hips as you need to. Bring your fingertips behind you, lean back, and lift your knees up for a front ankle stretch. Okay. And then coming back to Vadrasana. Now we're going to do a couple of different variations. The first one is from Vadrasana. You're going to take the top of your right foot and place it in the sole of your left foot. And the bone, that's the bony part at the top of the foot, that's called the navicular bone. You want that to really press down into the sole of the foot. So basically, as you sit back, the weight of your body is gonna kind of smush the sole of the foot, and in doing so, wake up the connective tissue and wake up the feet. So again, this can be pretty intense, so you just modify it by putting weight on your hands. And as you stay there for a few more breaths, you can even just very subtly move that top foot around. Again, getting a little more opening, getting a little bit deeper into the connective tissue there on the sole of the foot. This is not necessarily pleasant, but it generally has a really good effect. Okay, so let's go to the other side. Take the top of your left foot into the sole of your right foot. Again, you want that navicular bone pressing in to the sole. Breathe here. And again, just very subtly, you can move that bone around a little bit. Okay, now, next one is similar, but in a different leg position. So this time, you're going to take the right shin into to the base of the left calf. So right at the thick part of the calf muscle, the base there, you're going to place your lower leg on an angle like that. So now it's the tibia bone, your shin bone, pressing into the base of the calf muscle. This is the soleus muscle. And again, use your hands to monitor and adjust the intensity here. Sit back. And like you did in the previous stretch, if you want to just move the bone just very slightly up and down along the lower leg, again, just a little bit different part of the calf muscle. Breathe. Good. All right. And then change sides. Left shin to the base of the right calf. Sit back. Breathe. Okay. Sit in Vadrasana for a moment. Now we're going to take a calf stretch from tabletop. So come onto all fours with your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Stretch your right toes back with the toes curled under, and stretch your legs straight, opening the back of your knee and stretching the calf. And now we'll get into a little bit different part of the calf. Keep reaching your heel back, but slowly bend your knee. And again, this should bring it to that lower part of the calf. The big calf muscle, when your leg is straight, that's where you're probably feeling it more. That's the gastrocnemius. And then when you bend it, it's the soleus muscle. So both are important for ankle and foot flexibility, as well as balance in the way that we work our legs. So slowly bend. So when you bend, you have to press back through your heel to really get it into that lower part of the calf, and then straighten and bend and straighten. Good. All right, change sides. Curl your toes under, stretch your leg back, and then slowly bend, reaching your heel back, straighten, bend, and straighten, and bend, and straighten, and then back to tabletop. And for our final stretch, we'll take Virasana. So join your knees closer together, separate your feet apart, grab your block, and sit back between your heels. And this is also a great stretch for the front of the ankles, as well as the feet. And what I like to do here is bend my index fingers and just get again into the sole of the foot with a little foot massage. Very good. And then you can release that. And that is our lower leg and feet warm up. Thanks for joining us.